New shooting location unlocked. Whether or not my camera is going to stay mounted is a mystery. That's my cat. That is my ill cat who is confined to this singular room, except for when we allow him to go to the other room with the door closed. And he also gets to go to the rest of the house, but he has to be in his carrier. Oh, there's his butthole. He has to be in his carrier because he cannot fully interact with our other cats. Otherwise, they could get his illnesses. So this poor guy would actually probably love to go to the back rooms, but that's not going to happen, is it? Back rooms are too far away, aren't they, Smokey, for you? Yes, they are. Okay, you guys. I saw the back rooms. Actually, it's just called Backrooms, isn't it? It's not even called The Backrooms. It's called Backrooms. This movie is dope. I loved it. Okay, he's dropping stuff. You gotta stop dropping Smokey. You can hang out. I just don't want you to mess up my video. Please. I've been trying to shoot this video for days, and now you're the one who's messing it up. You're a very good boy. Let's not be rowdy anymore. Okay? Come here. Anyway, I saw this movie. I've actually seen it twice. I saw it opening weekend, and then I saw it again a few days later because my nephew just had to see it, so obviously I took him. I didn't think I was gonna like the movie as much as I did. I thought it was gonna be kind of weird and artsy, and I was gonna be like, oh, okay, that was kind of fun, whatever, and then move on with my life. But wow, I was pretty blown away, in all seriousness. I had a few problems with it, one of which was pretty minor, but we'll get to that later. But the other of which was not incredibly minor. However, don't care, I'm rating it 9 out of 10. Yeah, I said it, 9 out of 10, everybody. I wish you could see Smokey right now, he's so cute, but I don't feel like moving my phone. Okay, so the movie Backrooms is based on this internet lore, as far as I understand it, that's also called Backrooms, and you can watch all kinds of footage of it on YouTube. But I think it's also on some other forum whose name escapes me. Stop! Come hang out with me. Okay, there you go. It's on some other forum. I don't want to say it because I don't know if it's right or not, but there's this internet lore of the Backrooms, okay? And when I saw it for the first time, which was a couple years ago, I was like, okay, that looks actually really surprisingly familiar, these Backrooms. So Backrooms are essentially these made-up images that look exactly like a room that you might encounter, but they are extremely strange rooms. They're extremely strange scenes, okay? They're composed very weirdly, and that's the point, okay? So these rooms will be like what looks like a hallway, but there are these like weird turns in it, or weird doors in it, or there's not really a foreseeable exit, which is actually very disorienting. Look at this cat. Look at him. Do you see this? That's him. Look at that. Okay, it is currently his mission in life to mess up this video, but you know what? I'm not gonna let it happen. Come on down here. Come play. You have to come down here to play with this. I'm not putting it up there. I'll put it up there. Come over here. Okay, now he's engaged. So these images, okay, of these rooms were just kind of weird, scary, spooky, what is it called? Creepypasta, internet lore, right? They're just kind of weird images that are actually very disorienting, and that's sort of the point. These images got very popular though, and I'm sorry, the name of the director, Kane Larson. He has some very easy to pronounce last name, but his first name is Kane. I don't remember the main actors' names. Sorry, but I remember their characters' names. Yeah, I forgot to look those up, and I can't be bothered to do that now because I've already started the video. But anyway, these images were so popular that a lot of people were, there was a lot of like fan base. There's a lot of like buzz about them. We're going to talk about that as time goes on with this video. But eventually, I think his name is Kane Larson, but I will correct myself in the comments. He was approached by A24, the director, right, who kind of originated these backrooms images on the internet. And they were like, you want to make a movie about this? And he was like, sure, bro, why not? And we got the Backrooms, which has ended up being the most successful, highest grossing movie that A24 has ever put out. It made $82 million. And this, I don't know if it was opening weekend or this last opening weekend and second weekend in theaters. But that's pretty fucking good, mate. Beat out Mandalorian and Grogu. It's just been very popular. Okay, and my favorite thing, which has now only happened to me 3 times in my entire life, happened with this movie. I will get to that at the end. So what the movie is about is this guy who is kind of an alcoholic. Well, he is an alcoholic. His name is Clark. He's pretty down on his luck because he's recently either divorced or separated from his wife, and he's clearly struggling a lot with that, and he clearly hates his job. He owns a furniture store. By the way, there are spoilers in this, okay? So if you don't want any spoilers, turn the movie off, turn the video off, and go the fuck to a theater and watch this movie, okay? Now I have to let my dog in because she is demanding to come in. Come on in. He's not doing so hot, right? And so he has this furniture store. This also takes place in the year 1990. I didn't catch this the first time I watched it, but I caught it the second time, which is it takes place in San Jose. We're going to talk about that later too. San Jose, California. So, yeah, he's not doing so hot. It shows in the movie that he's camping out at the furniture store, unfortunately, because of his separation from his wife. So, or divorce from his wife, whatever. What happens is he is having weird stuff go on with the power in the building. And he's like, okay, he calls an electrician or whatever, and he's like, yeah, what's going on? Stuff keeps turning on and off. The power is not consistent. Like, please help me. And they open up the breaker. Pudge, would you like to leave the room? Would you like to leave the room? No? Okay, well then you can't be a rowdy girl. You can't be a rowdy girl, okay? I don't think you can fit up here. Sorry. You know what, I think a better question is am I gonna finish this video? Because my pets are so insistent on interrupting me. I think a better question for that right now, instead of the movie I'm actually trying to discuss. Okay, he's eating. He's at least kind of calm for a minute. the electrician comes and they open up the breaker, and there are these two weird ass switches that do not align with the other switches. And the electrician's like, what is, I don't know what this is for. And Clark's like, the main guy, his name is Clark, he's like, I don't know what's for either. But so, okay, one night he is in the basement of his furniture store, and it's dark out. He has the lights off. He's going back upstairs, probably to go to bed, but he sees this crack in the wall where there's nothing. He has no access to this wall. There's no door or anything. It's a relatively small room, the basement of his furniture store, but there's light coming through the crack. So he's like, what the fuck? And he goes over to it, and he touches the wall there, and he can move through the wall. And he moves through the wall and finds the back rooms, which is the whole plot of the movie. Okay? And the back rooms in this instance, it was probably harder to do this in the images. I understand this is somewhat based on some kind of game, some kind of video game, where the back rooms are like a thing that you can just explore basically forever. I forgot the name of the game. I'm sorry. Again, I will put it in the comments, but this is some weird shit. This is some never-ending rooms, hallways, things that go on forever, okay? What's so cool about this movie is that the movie itself is the sets. Back rooms are the sets. The sets make the movie, okay? I really can't emphasize that enough because it's just so incredibly vital to the story and the film, which is super, super interesting because I don't recall a movie like that that's come out in recent memory, okay? I mean, just to state the obvious, you guys, I get annoyed with myself when I reference the same exact shit every single time, but like, Star Wars is a great example, right? They have phenomenal, amazing sets. What's another one? I know I have some in my brain, you guys. I'll come up with some. Gone with the Wind. Friggin' next level amazing sets, right? Things like that. So if you have these most phenomenal sets and a good, not even great, but a good story, the visual spectacle of the sets plus the story is going to make your movie. Period. And thanks be to God, we got that with Backrooms. Okay. I don't know if I explained it well enough, but Backrooms, the backrooms that Clark finds it's this never-ending span of rooms that are very strange as well, okay? Like, you go, there's like a backwards stop sign. He gets in there, there's a giant pile of furniture. You guys, it didn't occur to me that furniture could actually be frightening until I watched this movie. There's a lot of like scary stuff happening purely with furniture, okay? Which is really interesting because, like I said, I didn't know that you could make that scary, but voila, we have it with Backrooms. Anyway, it just goes on forever. So what happened was he found these backrooms, and he was like, ah, like freaking out about it. Obviously, who wouldn't? And he goes and collects the two young folk that work at his store with him. I think you're gonna have to go out of the room. I think you're gonna have to go bug Dad. Okay, come here. Go on and bug Dad. She will probably be right back. But anyway, he goes and collects his two young coworkers who work at the furniture store with him, and he's like, "You gotta come see this." So they go and see it, and I just want to say, I don't actually really expect Kane Larson to know this because he's only fucking 20 years old. By the way, he's the youngest director to like to have a movie with this high of an opening weekend, high grossing of an opening weekend, ever. Like, not only is this A24's most successful movie, like, the director's only 20 years old. I fucking love A24, but anyway, I don't expect him to know this because he's too young. But they showed one of the coworkers, it's a man and a woman, they're a couple. They showed him, and like I said, this movie takes place in 1990. They showed him without his shirt, and he had all his body hair removed. And if you're doing that shit in the year 1990, you were 100% gay. Like, there was no alternative. Only gay men did that in the 1990s, so it would have looked a lot better if he had his body hair. But I digress. So they go back to the back rooms, and okay, I'm also going to say this because this did actually really bother me. I know that when you have a movie that takes place in the past, like I said, there's my dog, that takes place in the past, and you're making it in present day, obviously, the present day jokes are going to be made in the past setting, right? And they're likely going to be incorrect or inaccurate, inauthentic, because our language and our humor changes pretty rapidly. I'm coming. But at one point, Clark was like, we're going to tie you to a rope because they wanted to go down. He wanted to go down to this area of the back rooms that he couldn't access yet. And he said that to the male coworker. And the male coworker was like, oh, kinky. You guys, also in the year 1990, not everyone was so fucking obsessed with pornography, and not everyone had access to it like we do today, unfortunately. Okay, so, and people also didn't even use that word kinky 36 fucking years ago like they do today. So that was a pretty stupid joke, but those two things that irked me are not that serious in the grand scheme of things. I'm just saying, maybe if you're a very young director, you want to chat with someone a little older to make sure things are, period accurate. Okay, but anyway, this is a horror movie. And what I liked about it so much was that I wouldn't really say that it's not really jump scares, right? It's not really the things that we're used to being afraid of that makes this movie so scary. It's things that are more like disconcerting and disorienting. And if you're disconcerted and disoriented for a long period of time, you're going to be also disturbed, right? To the point where you're just confused, right? You're confused and you're scared. Like, if you're confused for long enough, you're just going to be scared, right? And I think that's what's so cool about this movie, is that it really capitalized on those themes, on those ideas, right? So, Clark also has a therapist, and I thought that her involvement in this story was really interesting too. You guys have to go see the movie because I'm gonna spoil it. I'm gonna offer my thoughts about some of the plot points here that would, spoil it, okay? But so it's also established that the therapist has a pretty messed up upbringing. it's established that she has like some flashbacks, and you guys, I talk shit about flashbacks all the time, but this one actually made a lot of sense. Okay. Anyway, it's established that her mother was a pretty like scary agoraphobic hoarder, and it kind of just does a little bit of flashing back with her as a child interacting with her mother. And so anyway, when Clark got his 2 coworkers to investigate this area he couldn't get to, right? I thought this was really scary, okay? So the kid who appeared to be a homosexual because he was removing all of his body hair in the year 1990, goes down this tunnel tied to a rope, okay? And in this room that he comes across, that's really weird. It's just like piles of clothes. And he goes up to one of the piles of clothes and he picks up a shirt that's on the top of the clothing. And it's a shirt that he was wearing in an earlier scene on a previous day. I thought that was very scary. Like, that was just really scary to me. And like, it's things like that are like, it's not a jump scare, right? It's more psychological than it is like, you know, a bloody clown, right? Anyway, so what this movie also made me think of was AI, and where I know that we're very like, we're not really accustomed to AI. Come on up at the moment, but obviously it's very relevant to us now. Does this dog look like she's AI? Look in the camera. Do you look like you're AI? Oh, she's so cute. It's like all these sets, these like endless rooms that you immediately get disoriented in, look like they were created by AI, because there are just so many like dead ends and weird doorways and weird turns, and also like perspectives. It's just like you don't you like want to study it because you don't even know what you're looking at, right? So imagine like physically being in that setting and not being able to get out. Imagine it, okay? Okay. Yeah, so that was very much like AI. We're gonna get back to that in a minute. I brought up the fact that this was in San Jose for a reason. I said I didn't catch that the first time, but I caught it the second time. You guys, San Jose is like a very big tech hub. There's a lot of technology stuff going on there. Obviously, it's California. What is also in San Jose is this house that I have been to. It's called the Winchester Mystery House. And it was made by this woman named Sarah Winchester. I think she went by Sally Winchester. It has over 160 rooms. She truly believed that, so she inherited all kinds of money from her husband, who actually ended up passing away, who was the heir to the Winchester rifle fortune. And so she had all this fucking money, right? Bye. See you in 1 minute. She had all this money, and she was like, I'm going to build a house. But she was really popular at the time. I'm sorry, I want to say very, very early 20th century, to see like psychics. But so I think this psychic told her that she had to keep building rooms onto her house because she was cursed with all the lives that were taken from the Winchester rifles. So you go to this house, and I went on the tour for this house, okay? And I was physically in this house for over an hour, all right? I think I saw 100 rooms in this house. But there are actually 160 rooms total in this house. And the moment I got out of that house, the moment I left the gift shop, I was like in a totally fucking different mindset than when I got in. Okay? How can I help you? I'm trying to make a video here. Here, you keep interrupting. And I thought I was in a mood because I was hungry. Okay? So I went and got some food, and I was like, okay, let's see if I still feel the same way after I have a proper meal. So I went and got some food, and I was on a road trip, you guys. I really wanted to go to, my plan was to go to San Francisco. I had already driven from Portland all the way down to Vegas to San Diego. Sorry, I went from Portland to Vegas to Tucson to Phoenix and Mesa, Arizona, to San Diego, to LA, to Palm Desert, California, to San Jose. Okay? And I was planning on going to San Francisco also, but after I got out of this house and had a meal, I was like, I'm going home. I was like, fuck it. I don't want to be on this trip anymore. I'm saying I had a spiritual experience. I had an attitude shift after having been in this house. Okay? You have food in your bowl. There's not a problem here. You're making a problem. I don't know how to help you. Stop! How can I help you? You're bugging me. You're bothering me. Stop. Please stop. I'm saying it's interesting that the concept of the back rooms happens in the city in which probably the most backrooms like actual building exists in the nation, maybe even the world. Okay. Do you want more food? I'll give you more food. Here. Have more food, my guy. Was that the whole reason you're upset? That was the whole reason he was upset. Okay. I recommend going to the Winchester Mystery House if you get the opportunity to do so. There's some fucking weird energy in the city of San Jose. But anyway, what's interesting is we see this guy 3 times in the movie. We see him once near the beginning. He's this third-party guy who's like wearing a lab coat in the very beginning. And then he's not wearing a lab coat the second time we see him. And then he is wearing a lab coat the third time we see him. But he is watching Clark. So when Clark is in the back rooms, this third guy sees him in a camera feed from the 90s. Okay? Which is weird. And then Clark made a commercial for his furniture store. And we see that same guy in the lab coat watching TV with his kids. And that commercial comes on. And that guy immediately recognizes Clark. Okay? Anyway, sorry. Let me go back to the therapist. Clark comes to her. And he tells her about these back rooms. And she thinks he's like having some kind of episode. Or he's manic. And she's also like, bro, are you drunk right now? And he's like, no, I'm going to come back with proof. And then she doesn't see him for a while. And she also gets this really weird phone call that I thought was from her mom. But I've watched other stuff and it said that it was from Clark. But I don't think it was from Clark. Anyway, she gets this weird ass phone call. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to go try to find this guy. So she goes to the furniture store, and magically the door is just open. And she goes to the basement, and she finds the back rooms, and wouldn't you know it, she gets stuck in there. Get in. I'm not going to give away everything because you guys should not be uncultured swine and actually go watch this movie. But my question about her mom, okay, is this, right? I'm saying that in the movie, it's established that her mom was like Looney Tunes, right? Appearing that way. That she was out of it, appearing that way. But it's also established that other people, other scientists, right, know about the back rooms, and they're studying the back rooms. So my question about her mom is she actually crazy? Or did she know about the back rooms? And then everyone who she told it to thought she was crazy. This is a really cool movie. There's a lot of ambiguity in this movie, which I think is super, super important and it's very subtle in ways that more modern day, like you guys, I tried to watch the new trailer for like Insidious 7 or whatever it is, and I couldn't even finish it. I was like, this looks like trash. Because we know exactly what's going to happen there. We know the formula. We know the jump scares. We know who's going to do what, right? But in this movie, what the hell is going to happen? What are the back rooms? You know, I was like kind of borderline having an existential crisis while watching this movie because I was like, we are so disoriented by being in buildings that are very strange. Okay, we are so we must be hardwired to find the exit. You guys found the exit, I'm sure, for this room. Find an exit in a room, right? Or find an exit in a structure. And the fact that these sets are so cool and so scary, because they kind of look like they're AI, but they're not. Bro, what the fuck? Okay. I'm just gonna say 3 more things. Okay. The only problem I had with this movie was like, I feel like, again, I'm not gonna fully give it away. Bye. Because I want you guys to go fucking see this movie. Is I feel like Clark's attitude change in the third act was a little bit off. You know, I feel like it didn't make a ton of sense, but at the same time, he was like not doing so hot to start. But also, I don't really think that mattered a ton because it kind of ended up following the therapist more at the end, which was really interesting. He just fell. My guy, be careful! You didn't make it. You okay? He's fine. So I thought that was somewhat of a problem for me, but like, not really, dude. I don't fucking care. This movie was good enough anyway. Okay. When I saw this with my nephew, everything is far away here because Vegas is a piece of shit town. So we saw it, and the whole 20-minute ride home, we were talking about the movie. We were like, what if this? What if that? What if blah, blah, blah? Like, it just, like, generates so many questions, which I think is so superb for a movie. Okay, the last thing I'm going to say, hopefully I can say it before my dog loses her mind trying to get in, is my favorite thing on the planet happened again for this movie. Okay, and now it's only happened to me 3 times in my entire life. The first time it was for the movie Milk. The second time it was for the movie. This is like my favorite movie, you guys. I'm fucking blanking on the title. What the hell? Oh my god. It's not Gone Girl. Is it Gone Girl? Gone Girl. Happened for Gone Girl. And it happened for the Backrooms. My favorite thing is when the credits roll and absolutely no one gets up. Because they're so affected by the movie they just watched that everyone's just like, you can't move. You're shocked. You're stunned. So that was a lot of fun. That was very cool. And you should go see this movie and tell me what you think. Goodbye.